How's it going? My name is Colin Winters. I'm the host of Panthers Place, and today we will be going over video one of a four-part series for the predictions of the 2024-2025 NFL season. And as you can tell by the thumbnail and title of the video you just clicked on, we are going to be starting with the Bucs, and the way we're going to be doing this is going from who won the division this past season and just going down from there. So just to preface how I work with these things, how I do predictions and all that is I'm going to give you an initial take, my first gut reading upon where I think they're going to be, that it's going to be my personal, I think they're going to have this record. Then we're going to go into the lowest record they could have and then the highest record that they have, of course, because this is the NFL. Maybe you just have a random crazy good season, or maybe you get the injury bug and your season goes to shit immediately. My rule for my initial count, though, is that for division rivals, you are going to split with them. It is to remove any sort of bias that I may or may not have versus any of these teams. Obviously, I'm a Panthers fan, so I'd want to be able to sweep the Bucs, but in the rule of fairness and because divisional games, no matter how bad one team is and good the other team is, if it's divisional, anything can happen because emotions are higher. It's just a higher impact game. So for the prediction and including my initial thoughts, you're going to split with your division rival. So take that as you will. And for the Bucs, I have down here for my initial thought, I have you guys going 9-8, which isn't bad, not bad at all. A step down from what you had before. Not a step down what you had before, as in your record, because you did have a 9-8 record, but as in I don't think you're going to be first in the division anymore. I feel like, and I will get to that soon, that you will be usurped by another team in this division, but it is still a respectable record anyway. Depending on how the season works out, it could be enough to get into the wild card with a squishy NFC, because being an NFC, you have a lot more opportunity than any of the other teams in the AFC do, because they are stacked and the NFC is relatively malleable. The reason I have no big shift down or up with my initial thoughts for the Buccaneers is because they didn't do too much to actually upgrade their team, but they did do a lot of good work in the offseason to make sure that they didn't downgrade. They lost some pieces, but they then brought back others to be able to fill those gaps. They were able to keep a lot of their high talent guys, that being Tristan Wirfs, and of course franchise tagging and then signing into a bigger deal, Antoine Winfield Jr. That is a huge and a great organizational job by the Buccaneers for them to actually be able to maintain the talent when they had so many people leaving at the same time. So my props to them don't go into the fact that I think they're going to be, a powerhouse in NFC this year. It just goes to the fact that I don't think they've done anything to get worse over this past offseason, and they've at least stayed the same and put themselves in a position to at least try and get better this next offseason. And just so I can go ahead, for the lowest I have you guys going, it is still a not too bad, but of course, don't want to hit this, a 6-11. That is because frankly, your schedule does not do you any favors. The Buccaneers schedule to start with, you have a maybe easy game against the Commanders, depending on how Jaden Daniels is in the regular season and how the rest of their team gels together. But I think you definitely get that win no matter what. But then you have the Lions, you get the Broncos, which could be easy. Then you have the Eagles, and then you have a Falcons Saints. You got two divisional games right there. Then you get the Ravens, Falcons again, Chiefs, and 49ers right before your bye week. Hopefully you're still healthy there. And then after that, you get the Giants, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, and Saints again. It's not a too bad end to your schedule, but when it comes to the before your bye week even hits, you are going through a grueling setup team. But to give the benefit of the doubt, if the Buccaneers do end up having a good season, their highest for me is 12-5. That mostly comes down to, of course, sweeping the Saints and Panthers in the division and stuff like that, maybe being able to get a sweep over the Falcons. And then, a few one-off victories here and there with other teams. But mostly it is just the fact that for the highest, you're most likely, for how I do predictions, you're just going to sweep your division. I do believe the Buccaneers are in a good position for future seasons because of the fact that they, like I said earlier, did not really offload a bunch of talent. They were able to stay relatively stagnant, and in the business of the NFL, staying stagnant, while annoying to us fans, is not a bad thing in its entirety, because of the fact that does mean you are going to be able to do better and more aggressive moves because you aren't going to have to start rebuilding. You have Baker Mayfield for the foreseeable future. You decided that he is your guy. You're going to be rolling with him. You're able to keep Mike Evans. You have Chris Godwin on your roster still. You have a good offensive line that you're adding younger pieces to and getting some vet help behind them. You have a defense which, while did offload some talent, had some people retire or move away. There were people that you thought were a little bit expendable. Devin White, of course, being one of those people that didn't live up to the expectations that you put on him during his time in Tampa Bay. But you still put up, you have a lot of new guys coming in. People as, of course, you have Vita Vea still there. You have Levante David still being your main linebacker. You have Jamel Dean as your main corner. Then after that, maybe you lost a little bit because you got rid of Carlton Davis. But mostly, I do see a stagnation. The defense being really the only thing that probably lost a few people. If I were a Buccaneers fan, my hope would be that maybe you're going to be a little bit aggressive with trades during the season to try to get the upper hand and make sure you do secure the division if that is what you're looking to do. And I do believe that is definitely possible for the Buccaneers to do. Maybe they have some young guys that they believe can take up the mantle of veterans that are currently starting on their team, so they ship off the veterans for, maybe a package for some picks for the future, or maybe they're going to say fuck them picks and maybe get a guy who is going to be able to fill in a gap on defense. Maybe they go and get a new corner to be alongside Dean. Maybe they get someone who can be in the nose with Vita Vea, anything like that. But otherwise, 9-8, not too bad. Most likely going to be second in the division, at least in my opinion. I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with anything really, because anything is better than fucking last in the NFL. But that is my prediction for the Buccaneers and a little bit of insight into what I think is the best path for them. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.